and welcome back to the channel Coins Reaction Zone, another Scooby-Doo reaction. So this is episode 9 of the new Scooby-Doo movies. Last episode I rated an 8 out of 10. It was a really fun one called The Secret of the Shark Island, and that one was my favorite episode so far across all Scooby-Doo episodes. Just had a lot of fun, spooky scenes. I really liked the convoluted nature of it, but it's still pretty simple to follow. Like, I knew Milo was the bad guy, but the Matilda reveal was pretty interesting. As the government agent, I really didn't expect that, because that's just how they kind of did maids in like the 70s and 80s and a lot of shows, like kind of like the gruffer voice and either like Russian or German, that kind of thing. So that was a legit interesting. And then just the funny like wacko stuff of, they just happened to find a pirate ship sunk in the bottom of the sea, and it just happened to have like a crap ton of gold coins. So they just melted it down and turned it into trash can lids. Just so stupid, but so much fun. The banter between Sunny and Cher was also pretty interesting. I feel like they played off each other well, but I really liked the way that the gang was in this episode, just kind of getting things done and also like splitting up in different formations, going together with the crew, and just the ending scene of just Cher stomping her foot and the huge dilapidated mansion just fell off that cliff was just icing on the cake. That was pretty funny. So that's why I rated an 8 out of 10. And property damage, last episode, Shaggy finally got property damage for the season, bringing his total up to $2,500. For season 3, and Scooby got $500 for those wine bottles that he destroyed with Shaggy, Sunny, and Cher, bringing his total up to $700. Then Fred's still at 50, and Daphne and Velma don't have any for this season so far. So not a lot of stats at all. And so Scooby still only has those 4 eaten Scooby snacks, so not really much. The Spooky Fog of Juneberry, released on November 4th, 1972. Pretty close together, but Don Knotts appears once again in the town of Juneberry as a local police officer, where the gang goes. After getting pulled over, they spend the night in the town, but it doesn't take too long before they find a mystery. He introduces Sheriff Andy Griffith, and Gene Haltray complains about the cattle rustling that is going on and drives off. Knotts leaves them inside the police station where they settle in for the night. As they are sleeping, Don Knotts is having trouble. A shadow passes over him and he gets scared. Goes to where Scooby is sleeping and he's scared as well. Another laugh comes from outside. When they wake Don Knotts, he pretends not to know about it. He tells the ghost to not fool with the law, but another laugh comes and Don Knotts runs back. The next day, they try to make the sheriff laugh as his laugh matches the one they heard. The gang is suspicious of this, and whenever the lights dim, Don Knotts, Scooby, and Shaggy hide, and Velma and Fred go outside to search for clues, but to no avail. And Velma finds truck tracks on the way, which they follow up to the hill out of Juneberry, and Don Knotts reveals that it leads to the cemetery, so the gang decide to investigate it later at night, before they all split up and look for clues, unaware that a man in a skeleton suit followed them. Scooby accidentally triggers a secret door, and Don, Shaggy, and Scooby get chased by several ghosts, wherein Fred, Velma, and Daphne follow the skeleton man into the tunnel, and the others go too. And then Fred, Daphne, and Velma see stalactites and stalagmites, which turn out to be dinosaur teeth. They go away, and Fred realizes it's an illusion. Scooby and Shaggy get stuck in a large pit and have to build a pile of rocks to escape. Scooby climbs up, but someone grabs a rock, and Scooby falls down. And after that, they find a set of railroad tracks, which they hop into a coal cart and ride the rails, hitting bumps and such until they are thrown out, until they're back where they started, but now have a chain. And then they use that to climb up and meet Don, Fred, Daphne, and Velma. And that's where we'll start. All right, and here we go. Scooby and Shaggy and Don Knotts inside the kind of cavern area, swinging on the chain. And so, from now on, for the new Scooby-Doo movies, I'm deciding to go through a bit of a synopsis in the beginning, and basically I watched the beginning part of it, but I only mainly react to the last 15 minutes of the show. For pacing and for editing, makes it a lot easier and makes it a lot more simple to get past copyright on YouTube, because I'm having an issue with it.
At least we're all back together again. Maybe that's a good luck sign.
So once the gang goes back together and they stop doing like the fiasco of everything is when I go back to it. So our suspects, just to keep you on track, is Sheriff Andy Griffith. He was the only other person in the police station. When the scary laughing was heard and his laugh really matched it. And then Gene Haltray, who Don Knotts called a sorehead. And the skeleton man is it. So I'm leaning more towards John Haltray, to be honest, because his laugh being similar and him the only one being in the police station is pretty circumstantial for me. So I think it'll just be kind of a basic one. Seriously, just freaking full on sneezing and ruining everything. Full on trying to kill them, dumping water on them, man. That water filled up fast, man. Now Knotts is drowning. Full on about to die. Grab him, Scooby. Oh, Scooby can swim just fine, I guess. Nice. Good job. Saving the day.
Scooby can climb along those ledges to the top. Right. All he has to do is huddle close and pretend he's a pussycat.
What?
Sorry. Will you do it?
Please.
Not even gonna give him a Scooby snack for that?
When you get to the top, be sure you don't let go of the rope, Scooby.
I do like the way that they designed the SD in this season, though.
Good luck, Scooby. Go, Scooby.
He's just full on just gonna just climb it just right by himself. 30 Scooby snacks.
He made it. Scooby-Doo, you did it again.
Not really very much funny physical comedy, but him staying like pencil thin like that was pretty funny. One of the things I don't like about this episode that is they keep everything in fog and dark and muddy, so you really can't see anything that's happening.
Look, there's your cattle rustlers.
There's a skeleton man just stealing the cattle.
Spooky Fog to cover their operations. How are we gonna get out of here? The only way to do that is to capture the skeleton man.
Maybe we could create a cattle stampede.
Good idea. Don could frighten the cattle by shooting his gun.
If I had any bullets.
There ought to be another way.
Oh, is that a frog? Oh, they can hear Scooby.
The cattle are moving.
That was easy. Oh, now they're just being... You gotta be careful. That's how you cause an accident or somebody dying, man. But it's working just fine. Hide behind the truck. He surrendered quick. That's it? That's boring. Now the cows can't see anything either.
Gene Hall.
Yep, I knew it.
Criminal mind behind all this.
That's true. And I could have gotten away with it if it weren't for you people.
You people, nice.
You're coming with me, Halltree. Watch it, kid. This is police business.
You saved the town of Juneberry. We couldn't have done it without Don.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Fella.
Will you come back and visit?
Danny Griffith, the sheriff, and
Well, goodbye.
they won't.
See you
They're not gonna visit again. I do like the restaurant names like El Taco and stuff.
Oh, it sure was.
Easy peasy, just traveling through the desert.
Be over yet. Does anybody besides me hear something?
It sounds like a siren.
I guess I better pull over to the side of the road.
They're getting pulled over again.
What's wrong? We didn't break any law, did we, Don?
No, but you did forget something.
Scooby.
Now, how could we have left him behind?
That's messed up.
Cut it out, son.
A bit pulled together at the end. Alrighty, and that was the Spooky Fog of Juneberry. I really didn't like this one because just a lot of convoluted parts of it, like making everybody foggy and muddy, was hard to see. Also wasn't very fun. Literally, the main bad guy was just somebody stealing cattle. It's kind of a bit of a basic one. Some trivia for this one, though, that I forgot to mention is that there's a lot of references to the Andy Griffith Show. The town named Juneberry plays off the town of Mayberry. Notch played police officer Barney Fife, and Sheriff Danny Griffith is based on Andy Griffith, who played Sheriff Andy Taylor. But oddly enough, Juneberry's in the western states while Mayberry is in North Carolina. And then Gene Autry is likely playing the famous western actor and cowboy Gene Autry. Kind of interesting, I guess. And then something that was kind of dumb is that they met the gang, Don and the gang met, and guess who's not coming to dinner? But they don't know each other in this episode. This is despite Scooby recognizing Homer Pipsqueak as Don Knotts. Just a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of kind of only two suspects. One of them was just there to steal cattle. Just kind of a boring episode, to be honest, with not much happening. The only cool thing that they did early on was that Scooby split up with Daphne for a tiny bit, but nothing really happened. Like the skeleton man costumes didn't even look very good. It was just kind of a basic one, and we didn't even see the other two skeleton men unmasked. They just were henchmen that weren't even unmasked. They've unmasked previous henchmen before, but not these guys, and they didn't have much to do at all. It was just kind of just everybody running the show. And for me, I don't think Don Knotts is very funny, to be honest. Just not my kind of style of comedy that I enjoy. It just didn't really do it for me of the physical comedy of thing. The pencil, going stiff as a pencil whenever he was getting pulled up was kind of fun. But overall, just the town just was boring. The main plot took place on like a hillside. It's just them fake barking to get cattle. And then he just surrendered. That's it. Just a overall boring piece of Scooby-Doo that they don't really explore very much in the episode at all. Like they don't go into really any of the restaurants or just anything really happening. Not really for me. I think this one, just as a nothing episode, I'll probably rate it a 1 out of 10. People might love this one, but for me, just nothing at all happening. I'm never going to rate anything as 0, but just for me, just one of the weakest Scooby-Doo episodes of all time. Just literally nothing. I guess you could say it in a nice way. But for me, just didn't care for it and didn't really have much going for it either. So that's going to do it for me. There's no stats for this episode. No property damage or anything like that. Scooby did get 3 Scooby snacks eaten, so bringing his total up to 7. Nothing else really. So kind of a boring episode like altogether that really didn't have much going for it. This is going to be another section for me for the new Scooby-Doo movies. So we're slowly getting through these 2 seasons. And we'll move on back to the 20-minute format, which I'm really excited about, which is why I'm just trying to react to as much as episodes as possible and really get through it, but still assigning what I can enjoy along the way, which is why Secret of the Shark Island, one of my favorite Scooby-Doo episodes of so far. I'll definitely have to go back whenever I do my ranking of my favorite Scooby-Doo episodes, that kind of list. I'll definitely have to go back and rewatch some of the Scooby-Doo Where Are You episodes. A lot of it just a little bit lower ranked because they're just slowly finding their footing and finding their format, so it's just kind of not really as strong as, you know, some of the season 2 stuff and then some of the stuff that we'll see as we go further down the line. So I think that's going to do it from me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Have a great day.